for you pays that Chappell Roan is being cancelled over politics. What did you say, Chappell?
Chappell Roan was disappointing during a recent podcast interview.
But Chappell Roan saying she doesn't have the time to be politically informed because she's a pop star is like so annoying.
It's giving a level of privilege that people fell in love with you for not having.
So there's a privilege for people to choose to not engage with politics because your identity may not be affected.
This is not the time to be taking a back seat when things get hard.
She's critiquing the idea of people seeing her as their primary or only source of political information.
That she's even complaining about it is something you're not gonna see Black women doing.
But the way that she's going about saying a lot of it is just rubbing me the wrong way.
She is being held to a higher standard, and that's because she set the standard.
If you're more mad at her more than you're mad at your own president and politicians,
I am going to continue to hold celebrities and the wealthy at an extremely high level of accountability. Elon Musk has proven that that's exactly what we should do.
Really strange for somebody who built their platform off of being political.
She built her platform off of being a pop star.
Social change and human rights should not be political things.
People thinking Chappell Roan is a Republican, just because you don't like someone's opinions does not make them a Republican.
Just because she was acting like a queer ally when in reality she was just appropriating drag.
Chappell Roan's feminism is rooted in her wanting to have the same right as a cis-het white man.
Now that we've got the Trump administration in office, she's giving radio side. Kind of giving she's a closet conservative.
I just think it's all BS. It's always been BS.
I pissed everybody off when I called Chappell Roan a closet conservative. Show me any evidence that says otherwise.
It's just the epitome of a YT queer woman.
You should have left your mouth closed from the jump.
I'm tired of seeing Chappell Roan takes on my For You page.
She's always kind of tried to be weirdly apolitical.
I feel like her take was extremely hot.
It's my hot take on the Chappell Roan discourse.
I want to yap about drama, I'm gonna join in. So Chappell Roan, the whole reason that she is bitter.
Chappell Roan.
I was a major Chappell Roan defender.
Chappell Roan has 4 whole IQ points. I'm gonna be so real.
I think I just find Chappell Roan incredibly insufferable.
Hey, you put yourself in this position.
You think that her sexuality is performative?
All of this Chappell Roan discourse fortunately highlights that hyper-polarization in this country.
Chappell Roan is the embodiment of white feminism.
Chappell Roan for Kaylee Rose.
Chappell Roan.
Chappell Roan. Now take a breath and just witness what comes up when I say her name.
H-O-T-T-O-G-O. Trump's a fascist, didn't you know?
Hey, welcome to the Clowntown Pookies.
I'm Val, and this is Gus, and this is gonna be a little bit of a different video today. A little bit more of a sit-down chitter-chatter.
So usually in this here parts, we talk about scams and scam-like content. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're having a bit of a chit-chat about the pop culture because we can do whatever we want.
And also because some of the things that we think that this person is talking about contribute to why people get into scams in the first place. It's meta.
So today we are talking about specifically that one interview that Chappell Roan did with Call Her Daddy.
Chappell Roan has gotten so big over the past few years that we forgot to even introduce her. And I think that that just speaks to how meteoric her rise has been, and to the fact that even if she doesn't release another song, she will still have made her impact on music. But yeah, she's a pop star who got big last year, and she's been receiving some backlash because of something she said on a podcast.
And it's just this one thing that she says
that we want to have a little bit of a chat about, because she is not the only person who has said this. This is not the only time that I've heard this sentiment, and so I want to discuss it a little bit. And I want to kind of unpack why we feel that celebrities should use their platforms for important things, and why it's not just us looking to them for their opinion on everything.
Yeah, we want to make clear that this is not a Chappell Roan, that bitch, blah blah blah. Like, this is not that type of video. We just feel like this is a very good example of a sentiment that a lot of celebrities have. We're not trying to pick on her specifically.
Yeah.
Because we do know that she is getting a lot of hate as a queer woman in media. I'm not trying to contribute to that.
And if you really are one of those people who hates Chappell Roan so much, do you have to put every single sentiment about how much you hate her on the internet? You don't.
Can't we just keep it to the group chats?
Have we learned nothing from Britney? Let's not be so cruel to women and let's actually talk about the problems that we have with them and not just be like, that weird clown. Are you ready? So, Chappell Roan went on Call Her Daddy. And I know this is not about Call Her Daddy. I do not like that podcast. I do not like that podcast. I do not like that woman. I think she is a corporate shill.
We're edging these poor people.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
And be like so politically educated. It's exhausting. And it's also impossible. Also, why the are you looking to me for some political answer? You think I have the answer? But you're like, listen to my song. Turn it up. Like, I'm a pop star. I wish I had the answers. I wish the president was a pop star.
So yeah, I'm just kind of confused that someone who is in kind of an inherently political space, being a queer woman in media, and also being someone that is very outspoken in comparison to a lot of celebrities about how she feels and what she believes, why she would then be confused why people would maybe look to her for what she thinks.
I do think it's unfair, like when someone is marginalized and they get famous, they're the ones who are expected to do more of the political work. I do kind of want to point out.
I can totally see that.
However, it is kind of like you are a person of that group. Why wouldn't you want to bring up those issues? And also, she has made a point to bring up those issues.
People don't look to Travis Scott for political opinions because he just never gave them in the first place. He just puts out little trap songs and does his little dance.
That's something that they said in the interview. Like, Alex Cooper was like, just listen to my songs.
But you're like, listen to my song. Turn it up. Like,
so you're saying that your songs are inherently political and that you say your views in your songs, but then you're questioning when people look to you for your views. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just genuinely confused.
There is a little bit of a disconnect because she has made it a point. Like, I'm sure I could find a lot of clips right now of her making it a point to talk about political issues.
I am in drag of the biggest queen of all. But in case you had forgot what's etched on my pretty little toes, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. That means freedom and trans rights. That means freedom and women's rights. And it especially means freedom for all people and oppressed. It especially means freedom for all oppressed people in occupied territories.
She brings up trans people very often, which I love and respect her for. Yep. I think that's great.
Brutal right now, but trans people have always existed and they will forever exist, and they will never, no matter what happens, take trans joy away, and that has to be protected more than anything, because I would not be here without trans girls. So just know that pop music is thinking about you and cares about you. And I'm trying my best to, like, really stand up.
Do you vow to protect the dolls? Yes.
Her Grammy acceptance speech made a point to talk about how musicians are underpaid, even though they make a lot of money for a lot of people.
I told myself if I ever won a Grammy and I got to stand up here in front of the most powerful people in music, I would demand that labels and the industry profiting millions of dollars off of artists would offer a livable wage and health care, especially to developing artists. Record labels need to treat their artists as valuable employees with a livable wage and health insurance and protection. Labels, we got you, but do you got us?
Literally at one of her shows, she was raising money for Gaza. So the line is just very confusing to me, because I very much appreciate and love that she does these things. But then when she goes on podcasts and she complains about people looking to her for opinions, it's like, you didn't need to put your opinion out there, babe. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to say, nobody asked. And I'm not saying you're not talented. I'm not saying that your opinion doesn't matter. I'm not saying that she doesn't have a value in the industry and whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody asked.
She was the one who put herself in that position, for the most part, I feel.
So to now be confused why you are in that position, especially for someone that didn't, we're not gonna say she got thrust in the spotlight exactly. She's been working at this for years. And it's been very apparent how people treat queer people in media.
Or women in media. Famous people in general in media.
So I'm not saying that it's not valid to be a little bit like, Everyone wants me to say everything about everything. I'm not saying that that's not valid. I'm a little confused at who it's coming from because of how outspoken she has been.
It's a little bit like, okay, but you've been doing that already. Why do you not want to continue to do that? Or why are you confused that people want that from you? Brittany Broski made kind of a similar statement, maybe in like 2023, beginning of 2024, saying like, I think it's dystopian that people want me to talk about politics.
If you can, why don't you? If you have a platform and you have people's ear, you have their attention, how dare you not? How dare you not sing about things that matter?
The segment to put at the beginning of next week's podcast episode, addressing the situation in the Middle East. What dystopian universe do I have to address the situation in the Middle East at the top of a podcast episode?
And I think with her, people were just like, oh, shut up, Brittany, do better. But with Chappell, I think people are more like, hey, you've actually been doing it. Why not continue to do it? I will say a reason that I do think Chappell got a lot of backlash for this that we forgot to mention is because she did not directly endorse Kamala Harris. She kind of floundered around a little bit with it because what I think she was trying to do was use her influence to try to make some change.
Because there is no way I can stand behind some of the left's completely transphobic and completely genocidal views. Trump, for real, but some of the that has gone down in the Democratic Party that has failed people like me and you. And more so, Palestine. And more so, every marginalized community in the world.
But how I think it came out was kind of like a both sides are bad platitudes, and it just didn't really do what she wanted it to do.
So yeah, I'm voting for Kamala. But I'm not settling for what has been offered. And I'm not gonna let this narrative of like me not playing both sides. No. This is not me playing both sides. This is me questioning both sides because this is what we have in front of us.
To have a platform like she does and to be so vocal about the election in such a harmful way, and then to now suddenly it's just, I have no opinions on politics, I'm just a pop star. And I'm like,
So when she comes forward with some pretty poorly thought out ideas about both sidesism between the Democratic and Republican parties, when she complains that people should do their own research while mispronouncing Kamala, of course people, including queer people of color such as myself, are going to be mad at her. How can you position yourself as a principled, knowledgeable artist who wants to use your platform to speak about social and political rights and then perpetuate asinine ideas about the Democratic and Republican parties being equally harmful to trans people?
So it seems like what works for her is just making statements on stage when she's feeling herself and she's thought about it a little bit, and there's also a little bit of spontaneity to the moment. It seems like her making these like recorded statements like the one that she did for Kamala Harris is where she starts to get into trouble, which is completely understandable. There's lots of different ways that people can do this if they decide to. In the context of this interview, she was talking about how celebrity women just don't have time to do everything that they're expected to do.
How can these girls tour, write, perform, interview, sleep, eat, and work out? And like, how can they do it all and lead a team and be a boss and pay people?
I mean, that's just a capitalism problem, baby.
No one has time to do everything they need to do. Like, babe, that's not a pop star problem, that's a capitalism problem, and we could talk about that. If anything, it's easier for you because she admitted in the clip that she had a team. You don't have to do all this by yourself.
She doesn't even have to get dressed by herself because she has a team to get her outfit for her. That's
right.
No shade.
That's no shade. It's fine, but it's just the truth. She has a lot more help than a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And it is true, she does have a lot more on her shoulders because she has a lot more people looking at her. I'm not going to say that that's not true and valid. And I'm not going to say that people haven't been very mean to her. And I don't think she deserves a lot of the shit she's gotten. But I also think I'm allowed to say, girl, why are you confused that we look to you for opinions? A lot of the things you say and do reflect that you want to have an opinion and that you want to be a person that is outspoken,
that advocates for other people. I think that's the other thing that gets a little bit misconstrued is she says, I wish that I was the president, but I'm not. Like, why are you looking to me for everything? I think there are some people who definitely look to Chappell Roan, but for me, it's not like I'm waiting, like, oh my God, what does Chappell Roan think about the tariffs? It's more so like she has an audience of people that she can reflect important issues to. She could get a GoFundMe out to millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, whereas I'm maybe gonna hit a few thousand if I am super, super lucky. That is the point that I think gets a little bit missed. And it's like, why do people want celebrities to talk about it? It's not because I am begging for their opinion. It's because they can get word out about the issue much faster than I can. If you don't want to use your voice specifically, then you can like repost other people. Have someone on your team who's like reposting political things every once in a while to get on important issues. But also, she did build her platform off of inherently political things. If she wants to tone that back, that's on her. I don't want to say, like, you shouldn't have done that in the first place, because I do think that people who don't talk about politics should talk about politics.
Yeah, I'm very much of the camp that people with a platform should be fucking using it to talk about things that are important. But at the end of the day, we are in a society where it's not expected of a celebrity to know everything. I'm sorry, baby, it's not. We are not there. No one cares if Sabrina Carpenter knows what a tariff is.
I was about to say, people are not expecting the same thing of Sabrina Carpenter that they are of Chappell Roan, because Chappell Roan has been outspoken and Sabrina Carpenter has just been like, woohoo!
I'm cute.
And gotten off stage.
If that's really what you wanted to do, then do that. A lot of people are doing it. I think that's where I'm trying to go with it. Like,
yeah. Then
if you really want to do that, then just stop talking about political issues, stop raising money, stop doing all that stuff, and just make it about your music, because that's allowed nowadays.
To be fair, and I'm gonna say this again, we're living under fascism. So I don't want people to do that.
Thank you. We don't want her to do that. We want her to use her voice. We want her to use her platform because she has a big one. But let's be so for real. If she wants to pull a Sabrina and just not give a shit, she can.
She can pull back.
She's in a position where she can.
Yeah. It is difficult to hear her just talking about how she doesn't have time to do anything when she has more resources than a lot of people. I do think that people kind of talk about her like she's Taylor Swift and she has billions of dollars. She doesn't, okay? Not there, but she does have a team. She does have people that she can ask for help and that she can look to help her with these things. Last kind of tidbit before we leave and get the flock out of here. People kind of get on Chappell because she's not PR trained. People kind of say, we want you to be PR trained. We want you to think more before you speak. I think there is value to that, you know what I mean? You don't have to put everything out there. The group chat is a fine place. The diary, the therapy, you know what I mean? But also, I see on the internet all the time people being like, bring back interviews without media training.
And then it's like, okay, well, Chappell Roan is doing that and y'all are mad. We can point that out too.
So what do you want?
I think people just want to be mad. I really do. And that's also what I would like to point out to Miss Chappell. Baby, you are a star. You're not gonna listen to me. You're a star. I just feel she is in a position where she can do pretty much whatever she wants with her platform. She can pull a Sabrina. She can be super political. She can be super out there and outspoken and whatever. People are gonna be mad no matter what. And I think people need to realize that. We are living under fascism. We are living under capitalism. We are living in a society that is angry. People are going to be angry. But I also don't think that that means you should abandon your moral responsibility to talk about things that matter to you if you feel like you have one.
Let's be honest, a lot of people don't.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you all for being here, and we will see you on the flip side.
Bye.